today we are discussing These Broken Stars by Amie Kaufman and Meagan. Yes, I have finally decided to sit down and talk about this book. In case you do not follow me anywhere on the internet, I absolutely adored this book. I got this a month ago and I've since read it twice. I finished it this morning again. There are no words. It's weird because I don't think I've ever liked a book this much when it comes to the young adult genre. Like I said, no words. I really don't know how the order in which I'm going to talk because there's just so many things I want to say, and let's just get started, please. In case you don't know what These Broken Stars is about, this novel follows two main characters, Lilac and Tarver. Something you should know, I completely butchered Lilac's name. Apparently it's Lilac LaRue, and in my mind it's Lilac LaRouche, so forgive me. So Lilac is the daughter of the richest man in the galaxy. She is known by everyone. Then we have Tarver, which came from nothing actually. He is a war hero and people know him because of what he did, and in this book we really don't know what exactly he did to become a war hero, but he has a lot of honor in him. And so these two meet on unusual circumstances, and they are aboard a space liner, and this spaceship crashes into a seemingly uninhabited planet.
The ship,
they are the only survivors, and this is actually at the very core a love story because it's a story of how these two fall in love, how they survive, what exactly is in this uninhabited planet. And honestly, to me, this is a book for the ages. It will stay with me until I'm old and gray. I don't know why, I don't know how a bunch of paper and ink and words that form sentences can make me feel so happy like this book did. This book has everything, ups and downs, and it makes you feel super happy, and at some points it makes you feel so miserable and empty. It's honestly a roller coaster, and this one doesn't only go up. I recommend it to anyone actually. Some people say it's a little bit slow. I actually didn't mind that at all. It gave us time to think about what was happening, just like the characters, the questions they were posing, the questions we were posing as readers. And it's just so good. This book is so good, and I'm not even kidding. You should pick it up, like right now, please. Do yourself a favor. So I'm gonna try to talk about non-spoilery things. I have a written review for this. It's written down below, and I'm basically going to read aloud the written review. I'm gonna start with the characters. These two characters are awesome. They have grown to become some of my favorites, and I actually have an announcement to make. For years I have known what an OTP was, but I didn't have one. I know that I really ship Peeta and Katniss, but Everlark is such a common OTP, and I want to have a special one. And this one is my special OTP. I ship Lilac and Tarver so much, and it's my OTP, okay guys? You know, we all have the OTP feels, and now I have them too. Anyway, the characters individually are so great. Tarver he's actually not a regular guy. He has been trained, so the war training is so implemented on him. It's complete.
How do you say the word? It's complete
instinct. It's instinct what he does and how he does it. But Tarver is also, you can say he has a soft side to him. Every time the mention of his family comes along, even if it's very brief and very superficial, you just feel like him. You know that he's suffering and that he wants nothing more than to. This is going into spoiler territory, so you just have to know that he loves his family so much, and since he has been the victim of a crash landing, they don't know where he is, and so he wants them to know he's alright, and you know that he's suffering a lot. Tarver is actually more profound than this, but talking about a character for a long time can get boring, so on to Lilac. Lilac, she's super pretty, although she's kind of spoiled. Lilac is actually one of my very favorite female characters because of the character development she undergoes. She is willing to give up a lot of things. I'm not going to name them because it's spoiled, but she's willing to give up a lot of things for Tarver. And at the beginning, they're like super unfriendly to each other. It really tense, the atmosphere between them. But at the end, she is willing to give up a lot for him. Trust me when I say a lot. And that just shows you how good a character can be and how much a character can change. I also forgot to mention that something happened to Lilac in the past, and this event, which I will not name because it spoils, is not only traumatizing, but it completely changed her. It's something that I think is so cruel to do to someone, and it's hard for someone to cope with that. And basically all her life she has learned how to push people away, and when Major Marenson finally comes along, although after a lot of effort, she is finally putting down those barriers and finally giving her trust and love to someone that she knows is worth it, and that she finally can stand up for herself.
And it's
It's not beautiful. It's amazing how these two people are so good together, and I support her so much for doing what she did throughout the book. Another thing I absolutely adore about this is the character development in this. It's so palpable. It's so there. You can feel it. At the end of the novel, you can actually mistake these two for different people altogether. That honestly is such a positive aspect. I just ugh, okay? Ugh, ugh. You understand it, ugh, don't you? Yeah, okay. I don't even know what I'm doing. So, as expected, I forgot to mention a couple of things. So many things were going through my mind. First thing is, most people think I'm overreacting. If you've read this book...
It isn't life-changing, there's nothing special about it.
Well, to me there is. It just, like I've said, I can't put my finger on it. Just, there's something about These Broken Stars that I absolutely adore and that I will never forget. It's a beautiful love story. I liked it 10 times better than The Fault in Our Stars. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I want to say. It might be, what I'm saying might be a little too much for you, but not for me. I also forgot to mention that These Broken Stars is headed to television. This is probably true. The authors have posted on Tumblr and on Twitter that indeed These Broken Stars is going to be a TV show. You know, when they announce it's going to be a TV show, to the actual premiere of the pilot can be like 2-3 years, so we might not get a These Broken Stars show until 2016, but I don't care. As long as it takes, I support it 100%. I cannot wait to see it. As long as it's done right, I want to see it really badly. Thumbs up. The plot, as I've mentioned, is super ups and downs. What am I saying? Takes you on such an extraordinary journey. This is a story for the ages, like I've mentioned. It's such a unique love story, and it doesn't seem that unique, you know, teenagers alone, falling in love, but something about it is. And if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. You know. That is pretty much it for the non-spoiler section. I talked a lot because honestly, I don't have a lot to talk about on the spoiler section. I will though. So thank you so much for watching until now. This book is like super good. Also, this cover is like the best in the world. I love it so much. A lot. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking. Bye if you don't want to be spoiled. Shoot. So you've read this book, hopefully, because yeah, you're here. I really want to talk about the end and how Lilac dying was so awful. It was. To anyone reading this, it's like...
What? Seriously?
I've mentioned that at times this book made you feel empty. The few pages that Tarver was alone and we didn't know what happened to Lilac, if she was indeed dead, it makes you feel so empty. You know what the guy is going through. It's so heavy, the ambience that these lovely authors create in this few pages where Tarver is alone. It's so emotional. You feel the emotion. Also, the whispers. It's just something that while reading this both times sparked my curiosity. You're meant to be sparked by these beings because you really don't know what they are. Is Lilac going insane? Are they both going insane? Is the planet playing tricks on them? Also, another thing, the father issues between Lilac and her father at the end. That scene was so intense. I mean, I read it this morning for the second time, and both times, like, whoa, she's literally defying the only person above her in the entire galaxy, and she's doing it with such force, and she's doing something that before the crash, she would have never ever even thought of doing. She's defying her father, and I think that's just a little ounce of how it shows that this character changed so much. The ending, it's sad that the planet got destroyed. I get really nostalgic about things that I shouldn't, and the planet being destroyed was really, yeah. I did, however, like how it ended, like few pages that they are talking and they're going to be together, although this event, this thing that happened to them will never ever leave their memories. It's so beautiful. I cannot get into my brain. I really want to talk about how, is Lilac essentially dead? Did the body stay buried, or is this Lilac that came back? In the part where she sees her body, she isn't yet Lilac. She's an energy-based life form. I think that's what I understood from the book, and she's not yet 100% Lilac. However, when she goes through the rift, she becomes skin and bone, like we like to say. Did the body stay buried? Is she the true Lilac, or is she a copy? And that, reading the short story, This Night So Dark, it baffled me because I literally forgot she died. I literally forgot that she isn't the original Lilac. And if she is, I'm so sorry, but I really didn't understand some parts of it, because this is a sci-fi book, and sciencey things usually don't stay glued to my brain. I really don't understand most of the time, but and in This Night So Dark, I forgot that she was essentially dead, that she wasn't the original one. But in the end, she is. She turns out that she is. However, she's a copy, but she's also the original. And this is really hard to put into your brain, but it's the truth, and that's how I understood the book. I have not read the first few chapters that This Night So Dark.
Disponibilizes. That's not a word, is it?
This Night So Dark comes with a few chapters of the second book, and which I have not read, because for this book I also read the first few chapters like 3 months before. I really don't want to, because getting a book that you've wanted to read for 3 years. No, I'm kidding. A book that you've wanted to read for so long, and you really don't want to read what you already read, and so you have to skip the first 50 or so pages, and you're like, what happened in these 50 pages? And then you're reading, and then you remember, and then you don't want to read it, and you want to get to know what you yet don't know. And so I don't know if you're understanding me, but I'm pretty sure I'm only going to read the first few chapters when I get the physical book of This Shattered World. That is about it. I really enjoyed this book. This was kind of like, it's my favorite. It's like, it took its spot on my #1 young adult science fiction book. It's young adult, and it's my favorite. You know, The Hunger Games is my favorite, but the Hunger Games, it doesn't really fit in the young adult genre, in my opinion. But this certainly does, and this is my favorite. Like, I've saying favorite 2 million times, and I don't even care. It's my favorite, and I want to go back to this cover, because what the hell, it's like so beautiful. I am a little disappointed in This Shattered World cover. It's kind of in the same way, but the cover is not nearly as pretty and gorgeous. And there's actually posters that the authors sometimes give away for this book, and just a poster of this cover would look so good in my room. If I never get one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna order one. You know, like go to those photocopy thingies and, hey, I want a big photo of this one in high resolution, so I can put in my room, and so it becomes super Tarver and Lilac-ish. Yes. So that was it. I really hope you enjoyed this. This was all over the place, I am aware, but when you're talking about your favorite book, you can't help it. The book is linked down below in case you are interested. I highly recommend it if you don't mind a slow pacing. It's not even a slow pacing, it's an intermediate pacing, because a slow pacing is a pacing that nothing happens, and in this book a lot of intriguing, mysterious stuff does happen. Only in the end you find out, but it's so worth it. I highly, highly recommend it, and I've said 2 million times. Go get it now. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned for more book chats. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye! This is Zadie. This is Zaza. She's our new addition to the family. Isn't she so... Yeah. It's just, ugh. Oh, damn.